Everyone, it's Andres here at the Baking Steel Studio. Welcome. Today we are doing a pizza hangout. I'm gonna make a pizza. Also, because you guys are just awesome, we're gonna give away one steel today to one random person here. I'm just gonna kind of spin and then land on a name and close my eyes and pick somebody. If you don't win a steel, I'll send it to you. We'll connect. And we're gonna do a pizza hangout. And if you're watching this like after, probably on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, follow us, and like this video. Tell your friends, and all you guys too, tell your friends about these classes. We love having people joining us. Really fun. We'll get to all your questions too. As I'm going, there'll be some pauses and I'll get to some questions, but if I don't answer it, please just type it in again. I'm working solo, so my eyes are bad. And we'll make sure we get to all your questions. It's gonna be really fun. Today, Smashburger pizza. It's a little bit out there. It's awesome. It's a cheeseburger pizza. It's phenomenal. I just thought today would be a really good day to do that. It's on our blog too. And I just it's one of my favorite pizzas that we make. It's outstanding. And I'm gonna take you through all the steps. Are you guys ready? And then we'll get going. So we're gonna go through the mise en place. And mise en place means simply, and this is typically what I'll do like on a Friday night before all my guests arrive. I've balled up my dough. I've got that in my dough container. I've got my oven on. I have my steels preheating at 500 degrees on convection. I've got 2 in my oven. You only need 1, but I've got 2. And so once I get that settled, then I'm gonna go to all my ingredients. I wanna chop, slice, and dice everything before the guests arrive. So I'm going to take you through my mise en place, the ingredients of the Smashburger pizza. Once we get those done, we're going to make the dough and stretch the dough out, make the pizza. It's going to be outstanding. Smashburger pizza. Buckle up. It's going to be fun. Let's do this. All right. I've got about a 1/4 pound of ground beef. This is like 85%. Notice that it's raw. I am not pre-cooking this. So that's my ground beef. Grass-fed. That's what I eat typically. So I might make my burgers. That's my burgers. For cheese, I'm gonna use a little bit of Fontina and a little bit of cheddar. A little bit of cheddar cheese. So I've got a little combination of cheese. White onion, pickles, and I'm gonna chop some tomatoes up really thin. And this will be our Smashburger pizza. So typically I'm gonna get all my stuff together and I'll keep them all separate, if you will. My burger is done, right? My burger's just I picked it in small pieces. My cheeses, I'm gonna shred these like after I do my chopping, okay? So first with the onion, I'm just using a traditional white onion. Grab my knife. I'm gonna go with, this is a really nice knife, by the way. Nakano, beautiful. Shout out to these guys. Really nice maple handles. I peel my onion. And all I do literally is just I chop my onion in half. I'm gonna cut these into really thin slices. And I'm just gonna just really thin. And you could slice and dice these. You can see my onions, pretty thin onions. These will go on top of my pizza. I'm gonna do the same thing with my tomatoes. Again, very thin sliced. You guys see what I'm doing here, okay? I've got a couple of different color varieties here of tomatoes. Nice to have sharp knives, right? A couple more red here. Okay, and then one more yellow. As you notice, I'm not pre-cooking any of my ingredients. I'm gonna keep everything raw on this, which might sound unusual. My pickles, these are Mount Olive pickles. I'm just gonna go light, thin slice again on these. Who doesn't love pickles? I think I ate half the jar today already. A little bit more. Pickles. All right, so there's my ingredients, right? I'm gonna set these aside. Let me put this over here. So I'll organize everything that's gonna go on the pizza, right? Pickles, tomatoes, and now the cheese, my Wonder Shredder, which I love. Do a combination of cheddar and fontina. I love these thick slabs of cheese, really nice. And now the cheddar. Should have it open already. Again, this is a nice white cheddar. Might want to show it again. Again, a quick little grind here. There's my cheese. Again, put that on my mise en place bowl here. And you can see my plate. I've got my ingredients for my cheeseburger pizza. Okay. But now we're going to do the special sauce. Here are my ingredients: Hellmann's, tomato ketchup, and yellow mustard. And all I'm going to do is just open these up, give it a little squirt, probably equal parts. Oops, I don't know how this works. I'm guessing that's close to equal parts, we'll call it today. And now I'm going to take my spatula and just give this a little mix. That's our special sauce. By the way, it's really good. Save that for afterwards. And there's our ingredients for the cheeseburger pizza. All right. Take a little pause here. That was my ingredients. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dough, stretch it out, and then top this baby. It's going to be incredible. I want to go back to my oven. I've double checked it. It's 500 degrees. I got my steel in there. Dough's coming out in a second. Is there any questions on the ingredients we just cut up? Let's see if we can get to those. Anything we can answer for you? We just keep going. We'll keep going. All right. So I'm gonna go back down here. I'm gonna do a thin crust pizza, and I'm gonna explain what I mean by that. I've got a 72-hour dough. And I've got it rolled out. I mean, I've got a 150-gram dough ball here. So it's smaller, but the idea is because it's like a smash burger, it just kind of gave me the vibe of a thin crust. So I flour this surface here, and I just kind of press it out. And I'm going to really remove all of the air bubbles just by squishing it. I'm going to pop them today. I don't always do that. You guys know me, I love bubbles, but for this pizza, I'm going to just demolish them. I'm generous with the flour because I'm going to use a rolling pin. I found my rolling pin. Now I'm going to just kind of squish out the bubbles. Looking good, right? If it gets sticky, just kind of coat again, coat both sides. This is 150 grams of dough. That'll be like my my bun, right? Keep picking it up, make sure it's not sticking. Might add a little bit more flour. You see this thickness of this, right? It's pretty thin. It's probably about 1/4 of an inch. Care about if it's round or not. Looking pretty good, looking pretty square, huh? I like it. So now take this. Grab a pizza peel, a little flour, a little bit of semolina flour. My dough goes right on top. Isn't that pretty? Nice, right? Now, let's top this. I'm nervous. Okay, so we're gonna go with we're gonna put some base layer down of some cheese. A little bit of cheese, edge to edge. It's the fontina. Here's the cheddar. Okay, now we're gonna go with some beef. I'm gonna break this up into really small pieces. It's gonna cook quick in that oven. Nice looking, huh? That might be a little bit big. I might even go a little lighter. That seems like a little lot, a lot of burger. Good. Okay, so now we're gonna do some, wash my hands quick. Some tomatoes. Looking good, isn't it? Some onions. Now my favorite part, the pickles. One for me, one for the pizza. A little bit more tomato. That's it. We're gonna save the rest for our special sauce, right? Nice. Right, so now I'm gonna take the back of my peel. Before I go into the oven, I'm gonna give this a little shake. It's still loose, it's sliding, super important. If it's not sliding right now, now is the time that I wanna go and maybe pick up an edge. You can see if it was like not sliding, I would pick up an edge here. Just slide some semolina flour underneath it so I can slide again. See how that's really important how it's sliding. Because now I can take the back of the peel to the back of my steel and just kind of relax and take it back really slow. Give it not too much elevation. You don't want to be like, you don't want to be too steep like this. It's more like, I don't know, 45 degrees, just kind of shuffle it off of it. You go right into my oven. Boom. Fire it off. Close her up. Timer. I put my timer on for about 3 minutes. I'm gonna change and then check it out. I'm preheating my oven at 500. I preheat it for an hour. I've got the oven on convection roast. Now, this is a tip that I learned from Allie last week or 2 weeks ago when we did a class together. She doesn't use the broiler, she doesn't use bake, she uses roast. So basically getting heat from top and bottom, more consistent. So it's gonna cook pretty fast that way. It won't get super brown on top. I could show you guys inside the oven when it's almost time. And should cook pretty nice and steady. What's up, Audrey? How are you? All right, so let's get to some questions to you guys. Chris B, Apollo, what temp is oven preheating? I preheated at 500 today because I'm using convection roast for the first time. We'll see how that works out. Do you ever use a docker for thin crust? Great question. Let's pull one out. A docker, if anybody knows what this is, like it almost like a massage thing, right? It just pokes holes in the dough, and you can use a fork, does the same thing. What that does is it helps the dough not expand so much by knocking some air holes in it, so it won't, the steam kind of escapes and it won't blow up, if you will. I do use them, yes. I just didn't use it with my thin crust today. I still have a little bit of bubble in the pizza, a little bit, not too crazy. I have one and works, but I don't always use it. I find the crust breaks better with the darker crust. Oh, bakes better. Yeah, Donna, much, I don't know if what better it might bake. I mean, I don't know if it'll bake better. It might not just blow up. That's a good question, though. I don't know if it'd be better or worse, but it'd be good. Jerry, what's up? From Pembean. Convection, hey, Kate, yes, convection roast versus convection, plain convection, yes, convection roast, correct. And when I'm cooking, I'm always using convection. I love convection. It's a fan in the back of the oven that just blows the temperature around. Makes it a much more steady heat inside. Let's go peek in the oven here together. Come out on that. See, not much color there yet, right? Been about 2.5 minutes. Underneath, it's getting there. It's getting a little bit of color, right? So now what we'll do, close it up, go back to convection, roast, 500. Start. It's a great oven, by the way. That's called a Monogram. It's a wall oven. It's an amazing oven. I don't get paid by these guys, but I do use them. We just finished our new house and kitchen's amazing. All Monogram in there again. I can run these apps. They're ovens from my phone, which I find to be phenomenal. Super cool. You just use flour to transfer over, use cornmeal. Why or why not semolina flour? Great question. I used a combination of semolina flour and the flour. Alexandra uses rice flour, which also works nice. It doesn't brown too easy. I use a combination of both semolina and regular flour. I find cornmeal it tends to burn too fast for me. So I like the semolina, the durum wheat just seems a little bit better. Has a nice little texture to the bottom of the pizza as well. So I like on the semolina. It's great. Diet. Okay. What are your thoughts on adding static malt to the dough? It's a great idea. I know some of the flours have the malt added in already. You have to read the bags. I haven't done a recipe with malt. I've obviously tasted pizza with malt in the recipe. It's a great idea. Especially for a shorter fermentation, it adds a nice little flavor to it, especially when these younger doughs don't have a lot of flavor. But yes, it's a great idea. Pizza on the top. Okay, Patricia's asking, why did I position the pizza on the top shelf? I've got 2 steels in my oven, Patricia. They're both super hot. I just have a lot of steels, so I always have 2. I'm only using one of the steels today, just the top one. But if I was going to launch another pizza in just a few minutes, what I would typically do is I would take that top pizza and move it to the bottom steel and then launch a new one on top. And a lot of times I'm using the broiler, so I'm getting that direct heat from above to help. And I don't want the pizza under the broiler for the entire bake. So I will kind of shuffle around after 2 minutes. I'll move that down, put a new one on top. And I kind of watch the pulse of my oven and the heat and how the pizzas are cooking. But I like the top steel. I call it steel estate inside. The more hot spots I can have with steel, the better. It just gives me, especially if I'm making multiple pizzas. Awesome. How do you steel top? Okay, yeah. And so Thomas, I'm only having one steel. I still like the top rack better because what that does is it puts the broiler in play for me. I love using the broiler. Today I'm not. I'm using just the it looks really good. I'm using just the roast today, so I'm not gonna get as much color on top. It's great. So that's been about, let's see. Let's check it out. Actually, why don't you guys come with me? I'll take you guys with me here on this journey here. Here we go. Inside. That looked great, really nice. It's got some good color around it. Let's look underneath. It's really nice underneath as well. I think we can take this out. You guys can see. It's steamy, huh? That looked nice. If you look underneath, crisped up bottom, hot, super hot. Awesome, right? That pretty? So I'm gonna put this here's the pizza. That look pretty, you guys? See that? It's really nice, thin crust, gorgeous. Let me grab a fork. Let's get to the fun part here. Special sauce, right? It looks and it smells amazing. You can see the beef cooked nicely on it. Grab my little fork. Just kind of do this quick. My special sauce. Now you can take a look at our pizza. Really gorgeous. It's got a Smashburger pizza. Beautiful. Let's do this. Back to me. See? Isn't that gorgeous, guys? It smells amazing. If you get anything on a Smashburger, you guys do any Smashburger pizzas? It looks good. It looks, I'm taking some pictures, sorry. It's so good. It looks amazing. All right. Let's get to some more questions, you guys. Let's see. It looks great. Thank you. The other week you had a guest, Allie, and you recommended circular parchment paper. What are your thoughts on that? Mark, you know, it's funny, we linked to some parchment on the, it's a great idea, especially using the roast. What the parchment does is it just keeps your steel clean, right? It keeps your steel clean, keeps your work area a little cleaner. So I have no problems with issues with it. The only caveat is if I'm using the broiler, I don't want to use parchment. But other than that, it's a great idea. This looks incredible, guys. Would you guys add any other ingredients to this? Let's see, huh? Chef kiss, I love it. Thank you, Michelle. All right, I will definitely have to try this. Oh yeah, and by the way, like this pizza is like, I got this in the 90s. There's a place in Boston on Newbury Street. Like we'd go to, it's called Sansi. We'd head there before like a Red Sox game or something, my wife and I, and they had a cheeseburger pizza. And wouldn't you know, and this is better than that, but that was a good pizza, gave us this idea. And this is like one of our favorite pizzas to make when we're entertaining guests. Is it's not necessarily always on a thin crust. Today I just thought Smashburger pizza, let's do a thin crust, but typically it's phenomenal. So highly recommend it. Thank you. Any other questions, you guys? And yeah, you definitely want to try it. I think the recipe's on the blog. We're updating it a little bit next day or two, so it'll be better. Great question, Catherine. If I'm making chicken on a pizza, do I pre-cook it? Probably yes. Unless I'm going to cut really small pieces. I don't love the idea of playing around with raw chicken on my hands. So I would probably pre-cook that a little bit before I put it on my pizza. As you know, it's like I'm making my mise en place. I mean, even though everything's cooking, I don't know. I just feel like chicken I might keep separate and pre-cook that a little bit first. I'm probably overcautious on that, but anyway, my thought. Again, smaller pieces tend to cook better in the oven. Great looking pie, thank you. 72 hours in the refrigerator. Great. So Chris, my 72-hour dough recipe, or hours I should say, is 24 hours at room temp and then 48 hours in the fridge, total of 72 hours. Now you can go longer, you can go shorter. That seems to be an ideal time, 72 hours, especially with a really nice flour. So our special sauce, let's get to that, Donna. Here we go. Ready? Your ketchup, equal parts, mustard, mayonnaise. That's it. That's our special sauce. Equal parts. And I just kind of randomly squirted them in there. No real, I didn't measure. I just kind of threw them in there. Yeah, Brenda, you're going to love the Smashburger pizza. Thank you, Edgar. I would add hot peppers. Mitch, great idea. Yes, I could have had some jalapeno too, would have been nice. Sliced avocado, nice. Would you put that on after, Mark? I like that idea too. Great call. Yeah, jalapenos, Vicky, smart. Looks amazing. You have to try this one, guys. It's incredible. Looks great, thank you. All right, sun is going to strong. Nice. Lamb, feta, pine nuts, spinach. That like amazing too. Pepper jack cheese and black olives. Ah, great question. Thomas is asking, have I ever experimented with a vegan cheese? Mine most taste like plastic. Yeah, they've gotten a lot better. Off the top of my head, almost every market I go into now has a vegan area with a lot of different cheeses. They've really improved over the years. I don't have a name off the top of my head that I use a lot, so I haven't been in that game for a few years, but there's definitely some better ones. I'm trying to think. I'll try to think of some. Maybe before the class ends, I'll have a name for you. But yes, the idea, Janice, the thin crust actually makes it. I don't know. Just reminding me more of a Smashburger for some reason. Okay, nice seeing you. And nice seeing you. Will you ever set the oven to over 500 degrees? Great question. If the oven has the capability, yeah. Home ovens, typically 500 to 550 is their max. This one baked for about 5.5 minutes total on 500 roast. I could have went to 550. I have that option. I didn't even think of it. Great idea. 550 is fine. I think it's a good temp for a home oven for sure. If you got it, use it. 72, I agree, Janice. Yes. Do you let your dough get to room temperature before you use straight? Oh, great question. So Brenda, great question. We had class at noon today, Eastern time, right? This is my studio. So I had to make sure I went to Whole Foods. I had to make sure I was here. Like my timetable said, get to the studio by 9 a.m. to make your dough balls. My dough is sitting on the counter overnight. And I had to, I want to make my dough balls. So I was here by like 8:45. I made my dough balls. So they've been resting for 3 hours. That seems to be a really good sweet spot for me. The temperature in here was 72 degrees this morning. I made the dough balls, and after 3 hours, they actually feel great. No problems with that. Amazing. You're great. Thank you, Marie. I forgot to freeze the dough until the second day in the fridge. Will it hurt the dough when I finally make a pizza? Catherine, when I freeze dough, my only thing is before I freeze the dough is I like to make my dough balls and then freeze the dough balls immediately before immediately and then place them in the freezer. That works really well. Now we tested this and we tested this. We don't want the dough to overproof. Like if we're putting it in like in delis, we don't want to expand and then freeze it because it kind of defeats the purpose of the final proof. So we kind of ball them up really tight, freeze the ball so it's really tight. So as it's thawing out, it starts to expand and it seems to work amazingly well. So that's the steps that we take. So ball them, freeze them, then remove. You got it, Mike. I need a pizza peel. Mike, great question. I strongly recommend wood. This is a cherry wood peel. We offer them on our site and get them other places as well. The reason I like wood is because when we're launching the dough's got some moisture in it, and metal peels tend to stick a lot. And to combat, the wood seems to absorb some of that better. So I like wood to launch. Now you could argue to remove, metal can slide right underneath because it's flatter. It can slide right underneath it. I don't even own a metal peel. I don't sell any. I just don't. I might at some point in the future, who knows? But I like personally the wood. Also, I slice mine on our cherry peels. Like I'll slice this pizza right on the cherry wood. That's like a no-no for the enthusiast for pizza. Like, what is it? I'm trying to think who would do that. The pizza restaurant might argue that you don't want to slice on the peels because you're kind of damaging your wood. So I get that, but at home, these are the same peels I've had for probably 10 years and like 1,000 pizzas, a lot. And I've got no issues with them. I think they're sturdy. They hold up really well. And I beat the shit out of mine. Hope that helps. Oh yeah, Myocus Creamery. Liquid mozzarella is a great vegan option. Terry, great call. Myocus, that's a name I was thinking of too. I have used that product. It's very good. I haven't tried the liquid mozzarella. You did and you liked it? Yeah, that's good. And another vote from Myoko. Yeah, that's right. Awesome. The diet cheese, also very good. I've used that before. In fact, my son was born, or when he was younger, he had dairy allergy, so we used Daya quite a bit. It melts, doesn't melt great. It kind of just like softens, doesn't really spread, just softens, which is, but it's still tasty. I recommend it, sure. Off topic, I need a gluten-free pizza based on your video with Chef. Came out great. We need to see more of Chef and his sense of humor. I love it. Which chef are we talking about there, Joe? Let me know. I'll get him back on here. Yes, I think wood's way better, Brenda, 100%. Wood peels offered on the baking steel side a wonderful Oh, thank you, David. David recommending us. How's that? Amazing. Great. Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, now I'm going to stop here and boom. Kate Fitzgerald, are you still here? Kate Fitzgerald, you just won a baking steel. Kate, I hope you're still here because you can, yes. All right. So Kate, email me, Andris, ANDRIS @bakingsteel.com. And we'll exchange addresses and I'll shoot you a heavy steel. You'll love it. And guys, next class, we're doing the same thing, random giveaways, because you guys rock. You're awesome. I'm so grateful that you come to these classes and they're helpful because it's a win-win. I get to make pizzas and experiment, and you guys get to, well, you can't really smell them, but they are good. And if anybody's in Grand Rapids, hit me up because I would love to have you guys come over. I'm starting to do some classes. I just literally signed up my first class in June for 12 people in here. It's gonna be like just a fun evening. And we're gonna start doing those once or twice a month. So if anybody's in the area and you want to get some couples together, it's gonna be a blast. Wine, beer, pizza. Does it get much better? And good people, right? Good conversations. It's gonna be incredible. Not in the area, but it sounds like so much. It is, Brenda. It's great. If you guys ever want to travel, and anybody in Chicago, we're only a couple of hours away. I'm so glad these are helpful. And if you guys have any recommendations for classes, I'm happy to make something that you find you might need some help with, or you just want to see visually. Sometimes it helps to see someone else do it before you do, just to kind of help. You got it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. We're going to send a follow-up link to everybody. Tell your friends. You guys are great. I'm grateful. Gluten-free recipe. That's a good call too. We will cover that. Good. Kate, yeah, BLT pizza. In fact, we did something like that. That's a really good idea. Maybe that's a good one for us. Awesome, you guys. Thank you for being here again. Andris from Baking Steel is out of here. Thanks, guys.